I knew my body wasn't going to be able to move in the same way that it was before. But my mind was capable of doing so much. So I had to go to work. You know what it's like when you go to the gym for the first time in a while, and you do a workout, you get really sore, and you decide if you don't want to come back, and maybe you overdo it too much. Well, I had to take this approach when it came to my mind that I knew I was going to be in this for the long haul. It wasn't going to be an instantaneous thing. So much like in my early 20s, when I discovered that I was in a significant depression, in that discovery, I found my first sense of that opportunity that I speak of. I took where my life was at. I understood that it was not where I wanted to be. So I picked a point in the future and I said, I'm going to work until I am feeling good. And it is okay to not be as good as I want to be throughout this time. Because you can get really frustrated with yourself if you don't see that immediate result. And when you're working on something like your mind and your body, it is important to give yourself that time. Respect your body, respect your mind, respect the process. So I was in a place where I had to transition away from the things that I had been doing. I love being at the brewery, right? I love engaging with all of you, but I had to figure out how I could separate myself from those other habits where I'm putting my job first and not myself first. So I had to dial things back a little bit. Again, focus on my diet, focus on my sleep, focus on putting the right things into my body so that I can move. And slowly but surely, things started to improve. I was able to catch a groove. And I was able to catch a groove in the form of creativity, where I was able to take this pain that was stuck inside of me for so long and get it out. I lived so long with this identity of pain that it was easy to fall back onto. Oh yeah, I've broken my back, I've had 3 ACL surgeries, torn labor in my hip, partially torn hip abductor muscles, hip dysplasia, multiple herniated discs, multiple concussions. It was easy for me to say, no, I got too much going on that's gonna prevent me from doing that. So one day, in this process, as I'm transforming myself, bringing myself back to life, but I didn't lose my train of thought while I was in this process, where I knew that I had to get this out. So I knew I had the playbook. I knew what to do to get myself back. So a lot of you are seeing kind of that right here, right now behind me. And it's my duty now to give you this information or this roadmap that was able to get me back to a place where I can operate and do the things that I feel like I need to do. So after a couple years, about 3 years to be exact, of me going through this process, going to Dr. J, being introduced to a bodywork specialist named Phil, being introduced to an incredible masseuse named Chelsea, eventually getting introduced to an active release technique specialist, continuously pushing for more, not just settling for something that feels good. I want something that feels great. And in those moments, throughout all my years of pain, there were moments of greatness, and I knew I could capture that. But I wasn't gonna capture that with the standard process. Going to do a doctor, getting a prescription for something, signing up for a surgery. That is not necessary. That is a last resort. The surgery part's last resort. I don't think anybody really needs to go the route of prescriptions, multiple prescriptions. I feel like we do have the ability, with all the resources that you're seeing right here, to utilize these tools these small things to add up to one big thing that we can all benefit from, and that's our wellness. That's our overall wellness. So when I was able to, I am able to do the things that I didn't think that I was able to do. So then I wanted to continue the narrative of this book. Again, of taking an opportunity from pain, creating something out of it. I'm not wallowing in the pain, thinking about that pain, letting the pain define me. I'm letting that pain be the opportunity for myself to be well, but for others to also be well. So that book led to the opportunity to create a YouTube channel where I get to combine all of the things that I like, not all, but many of the things that I like to do. I love sauna. I love connection. I love working my body. And I love providing a roadmap for others to be well as well. So here I am, right? I got my book out. I got this podcast. I'm this pain management warrior, and then I hurt myself again. This is a different kind of hurt, because I actually got myself back to the point of being able to play hockey again for the first time in over a decade. But I had let myself slip and get back to those old traits that got me into trouble in the first place. I was doing too much. I was not focusing on the most important thing, and that's my overall wellness. So going to play hockey is literally a year after I had first started playing hockey. I played hockey 2023, yes, on Thanksgiving. Actually, this is the day before Thanksgiving. So then last year, the morning of Thanksgiving, woke up a little late, trying to get to the rink, thinking I'm good. I don't need to stretch. I don't need to worry about that. I'm just gonna go on the ice and slowly loosen up. And sure enough, I go down, I land on my knee, and I hurt it pretty significantly. But I felt okay about that because I had the tools to make myself better. But there's only so much better that you can get from a physical standpoint. You need to have the mental component of it as well. And I was struggling this last winter. There's a lot of things that are going on in my life that prevented me from getting back into that routine. So this knee problem that I had wasn't getting better. And then it was starting to manifest in like inflammatory pain throughout my whole body. I went through a period where I couldn't even raise my arms over my head. I had to get rolled out of bed by my wife because I was in too much agony to move. So here we are again. We're at that point of pain. We're at that point of opportunity. So I knew I had to do something different. I had to take this opportunity that I had created for myself, this newfound pain, and make something out of it. So what I did was something that I typically wouldn't do because I already had my tools, but I needed to go to the source for something else. And my bodywork specialist, who was fantastic and helped me get to the point of being able to write my book by relieving significant dense tissue, dense fascia throughout my body to be able to write. But throughout this process, he gave me a book and he said, you know what? You need to do some stretches in this book because this is going to prevent you from coming to see me. And that was a great thing to receive because usually you have people saying, you know what, why don't you come back? You got to come see me in a couple weeks, and we'll get on a nice routine. We'll get you better. But I got this guy saying, no, take this. I don't want to see you as often as I am having to see you. So I took this book. I was able to develop a routine and benefit from these stretches. So then when it came time for this new knee situation and I had to figure something else out, I did some research and I was like, I need to find somebody locally that can do this type of stretching. I need to learn more. I need the ability to heal myself. But there wasn't anybody here. So I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? So I continued to research further. And I found the Genius of Flexibility in Santa Barbara was offering a week-long intensive course about resistance flexibility. So I was like, all right, let's do this. I'm gonna go to Santa Barbara. I'm gonna learn for a week. I'm gonna get these tools to come back and heal myself. So this debilitating pain that I thought was going to result in a knee replacement was now an opportunity for me to go to Santa Barbara, for me to learn, for me to connect with the creator of a modality that was so powerful on my own, but has now become so much more. And it's now essentially the cornerstone, the keynote, or the most, not the most important part, because all of today is so important, but the fact that an injury created this opportunity for me to connect with somebody and introduce them all to you, to hopefully create a community of our own around here. That helped me heal. That helped me heal up here. It gave me this sense of purpose again, to not let myself settle into a routine, because there are so many wonderful people out there that have unique healing capabilities, and I want to meet them, and I want you to all meet them. So the next time you get hurt, or you're not feeling good mentally, don't let that hold you back. Don't get stuck. See that as an opportunity. See that as a chance to address the reason that you got in pain in the first place. Take your life back. That's all I got today. Thank you guys very much. It was hard to prepare a speech with so much going on over here, but hopefully I got my point across. And it really means the world that you're all here right now. You guys have no idea. So, thank you guys. All right, well, let's enjoy a little cool down over here. I might be the only person. Yeah, I'm gonna give the mic to you. The first person gets on there, yeah, that's right. All right, we got a cool down. Come on, High Rocks, get in here and get your cool down on.
Thank you. Okay. Hello, cool down crew. We just watched you guys take some major butt. Awesome job. Everybody ready? All right, here we go. So, I'm gonna lead a part of it, and then Chris is gonna lead the second half. All right, so we're gonna do an inchworm. So, go back, no mats, that's all right. We go straight up with our arms, all the way down, touch your toes, and walk all the way out. Sit in the plank for a couple seconds. You go down into a cobra stretch. Arch that back up. All right, now we're gonna do this 2 more times. So come back up into the inchworm. All right, some deep breaths here. Last one. Last cobra. All right, here we go. Next, we're gonna do a forward fold. So we're gonna squat first. Release that neck. And last one. Squat down, fold, and hold. You can hold it or you can come back up and do one more. Right. Feel good? Yeah. Woo. All right. Chris is going to take over to the next half.